Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Exacting, especially about details. Very particular about how her food was prepared. A small part that can be considered separately from the whole. First and most important. She gets special, or particular, satisfaction from her volunteer work. Logic. A proposition that asserts something about some, but not all, members of a class. Surpassing what is common or usual or expected. A matter of particular and unusual importance. Unique or specific to a person or thing or category. The particular demands of the job. A fact about some part, as opposed to general. He always reasons from the particular to the general. Providing specific details or circumstances. A particular description of the room. Separate and distinct from others of the same group or category. Interested in one particular artist. Exacting, especially about details. Exacting, especially about details. A finicky eater. Exacting, especially about details. Fussy about clothes. Annoyed and irritable. Overcrowded or cluttered with detail. A fussy design. Exacting, especially about details. A small part that can be considered separately from the whole. It was perfect in all details. A temporary military unit. An isolated fact that is considered separately from the whole. Several of the details are similar. A crew of workers selected for a particular task. A detail was sent to remove the fallen trees. Assigned to a specific task. The ambulances were detailed to the fire station. Extended treatment of particulars. The essay contained too much detail. Provide details for. An individual instance of a type of symbol. A distinct part that can be specified separately in a group of things that could be enumerated on a list. He noticed an item in the New York Times. A small part that can be considered separately from the whole. An isolated fact that is considered separately from the whole. A whole individual unit, especially when included in a list or collection. They reduced the price on many items. Added to a regular schedule. A special holiday flight. First and most important. His special interest as music. Surpassing what is common or usual or expected. He paid a special attention to her. Unique or specific to a person or thing or category. The special features of a computer. Having a specific function or scope. A special, or specific, role in the mission. Adapted to or reserved for a particular purpose. A special kind of paint. A dish or meal given prominence in, e.g., a restaurant. A special offering, usually temporary and at a reduced price, that is featured in advertising. They are having a special on pork chops. A television production that features a particular person or work or topic. The last of a series of BBC specials on Iran is being shown tonight. For a special service or occasion. A special correspondent. Logic. A proposition that asserts something about some, but not all, members of a class. Surpassing what is common or usual or expected. He paid a special attention to her. Far beyond what is usual in magnitude or degree. An exceptional memory. Surpassing what is common or usual or expected. Exceptional kindness. Deviating widely from a norm of physical or mental ability, used especially of children below normal in intelligence. Special educational provisions for exceptional children. Beyond or deviating from the usual or expected. The peculiar aromatic odor of cloves. Unique or specific to a person or thing or category. A peculiar bond of sympathy between them. Characteristic of one only, distinctive or special. The peculiar character of the government of the U.S. Markedly different from the usual. A peculiar hobby of stuffing and mounting bats. A fact about some part, as opposed to general. A medicine that has a mitigating effect on a specific disease. Quinine is a specific for malaria. Being or affecting a disease produced by a particular microorganism or condition. Used also of stains or dyes used in making microscope slides. Quinine is highly specific for malaria. Sometimes followed by to, applying to or characterized by or distinguishing something particular or special or unique. Rules with specific application. Stated explicitly or in detail. Needed a specific amount. Relating to or distinguishing or constituting a taxonomic species. Specific characters. Having complicated nutritional requirements, especially growing only in special artificial cultures. Fastidious microorganisms. Giving careful attention to detail, hard to please, excessively concerned with cleanliness. A fastidious and incisive intellect. A preliminary election where delegates or nominees are chosen. Of or being the essential or basic part. One of the main flight feathers projecting along the outer edge of a bird's wing. Coil forming the part of an electrical circuit such that changing current in it induces a current in a neighboring circuit. Current through the primary coil induces current in the secondary coil. Most important element. Policemen were primary targets. Astronomy, a celestial body, especially a star, relative to other objects in orbit around it. Not derived from or reducible to something else, basic. A primary instinct. Of first rank or importance or value, direct and immediate rather than secondary. Primary goals. Marked by an uncommon quality, especially superlative or extreme of its kind. An uncommon sense of humor. Not common or ordinarily encountered, unusually great in amount or remarkable in character or kind. Uncommon birds. Unhurried and with care and dignity. Cautiously attentive. Careful of her feelings. Mindful of the future in spending money. Careful with money. Exercising caution or showing care or attention. They were careful when crossing the busy street. Full of cares or anxiety. Thou art careful and troubled about many things. Something determined in relation to something that includes it. An artifact that is one of the individual parts of which a composite entity is made up, especially a part that can be separated from or attached to a system. A component or constituent element of a system. An abstract part of something. Two constituents of a musical composition are melody and harmony. Something determined in relation to something that includes it. The animal constituent of plankton. Constitutional in the structure of something, especially your physical makeup. Grammar. A word or phrase or clause forming part of a larger grammatical construction. A member of a constituency. A citizen who is represented in a government by officials for whom he or she votes. Needs continued support by constituents to be re-elected. An artifact that is one of the individual parts of which a composite entity is made up, especially a part that can be separated from or attached to a system. Spare components for cars. An abstract part of something. Jealousy was a component of his character. Something determined in relation to something that includes it. The smaller component is hard to reach. The effort contributed by a person in bringing about a result. The actions and activities assigned to or required or expected of a person or group. The government must do its part. To some extent, in some degree, not wholly. I felt partly to blame. Assets belonging to or due to or contributed by an individual person or group. A portion of a natural object. They analyzed the river into 3 parts. Something less than the whole of a human artifact. The rear part of the house. One of the portions into which something is regarded as divided and which together constitute a whole. The written part of the exam. Discontinue an association or relation. Go different ways. The business partners broke over a tax question. The melody carried by a particular voice or instrument in polyphonic music. He tried to sing the tenor part. Force, take, or pull apart. Moses parted the Red Sea. An item that is an instance of some type. My dog swallowed a Lego part. A line of scalp that can be seen when sections of hair are combed in opposite directions. His part was right in the middle. Leave. The extended spatial location of something. Religions in all parts of the world. Go one's own way. Move apart. The friends separated after the party. Something determined in relation to something that includes it. He wanted to feel a part of something bigger than himself. An actor's portrayal of someone in a play. She played the part of Desdemona. Come apart. That which concerns a person with regard to a particular role or situation. It requires vigilance on our part. An individual quantity of food or drink taken as part of a meal. His portion was larger than hers. Assets belonging to or due to or contributed by an individual person or group. Something less than the whole of a human artifact. The allotment of some amount by dividing something. Money or property brought by a woman to her husband at marriage. Give out. Your overall circumstances or condition in life, including everything that happens to you. Success that was her portion. Something determined in relation to something that includes it. I read a portion of the manuscript. A proposal offered for acceptance or rejection. The act of making a proposal. An offer for a private bargain, especially a request for sexual favors. A task to be dealt with. Securing adequate funding is a time-consuming proposition. Logic. A statement that affirms or denies something and is either true or false. Suggest sex to. She was propositioned by a stranger at the party. A concept whose truth can be proved. Scientific hypotheses are not facts. An event known to have happened or something known to have existed. Your fears have no basis in fact. A piece of information about circumstances that exist or events that have occurred. First, you must collect all the facts of the case. A statement or assertion of verified information about something that is the case or has happened. He supported his argument with an impressive array of facts. The most interesting or memorable part. Move into the foreground to make more visible or prominent. The introduction highlighted the speaker's distinguished career in linguistics. The most interesting or memorable part. The highlight of the tour was our visit to the Vatican. An area of lightness in a picture. Apply a highlighter to one's cheeks or eyebrows in order to make them more prominent. Highlight the area above your eyebrows. A system of reasoning. Reasoned and reasonable judgment. It made a certain kind of logic. The branch of philosophy that analyzes inference. The principles that guide reasoning within a given field or situation. Economic logic requires it. The system of operations performed by a computer that underlies the machine's representation of logical operations.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.